Hey y'all, I'm back. Just in time for the playoffs. So I'm filming this on Monday, January 17th, and I decided to film after the most of the playoff games except this game tonight, so we could just get a clear path on the head coaching thing. So what I'm going to talk about today is my former playoff prediction, because it's wrong so far, and then my updated one. Regardless who wins tonight, I still have them. It doesn't make a difference. And then my takes on head coaching hirings and firings, and then we may talk about NIL for a little bit in between the head coaching. It just depends how I feel. I may just talk about it for 2 minutes, but because I was supposed to have someone come on this week and talk about NIL, but they decided not to. So getting into this, so my playoff prediction. So I had starting the AFC, I had the Bengals winning. They went up winning. Then I had the Patriots winning, but only for this one reason, and I did not want the Bengals to play the Titans, and so I actually thought the Bills were gonna win, but in my mind I was just because I'm super superstitious, I was like, maybe if I make this prediction, it'll actually come true, and coming into the game, I figured the Bills were winning, but I thought it was going to be way closer than it actually was. And I did not think it was going to be that much of a blowout. But on the prediction, I picked the Patriots, and I picked the Chiefs, and that was right. And so on this prediction, I had the Titans playing the Patriots, Bengals playing the Chiefs in the divisional round. In the NFC, I had the Bucks winning. They won. I have the Rams winning, which that game hasn't happened yet. And then I had the Cowboys winning, which I had, again, same deal. I felt like the 49ers could have upset the Cowboys leading up to the game, or had a likely chance to, but I still rode with the Cowboys, and I was cheering for them because I do not like the 49ers. And I think that was kind of a BS call, to be honest. Well, not a call, it should just be managed way better. Like, Dak shouldn't have run that far, and the ref should have been running with the play and touch the ball instead of touching it or trying to move it. That was kind of BS. And the 1 second rule where you can't snap the ball with 1 second, that's also dumb, because apparently they got it off, but they couldn't run another play because there's 1 second on the clock, which in college football it's different, as you know, from Alabama, Auburn. Anyways, in the NFC, I had Rams, Packers, Cowboys, Bucks, and the divisional round. So going back to the AFC, I had the Titans beating the Patriots. Ultimately not going to happen, but so I won't talk about that too much. And then I had Bengals beating the Chiefs. Both teams looked pretty good, and so we'll see what happens in the real playoffs, because this is all junked up because I missed both of the 3-6 games. And then I had Packers playing the Rams, and the Cowboys beating the Bucks, and the Packers beating the Rams. And so Cowboys, Packers, Conference Championship, Bengals, Titans, Conference Championship. I had the Bengals winning because they have actually. I'll save that because they're actually playing in the divisional round, and then Cowboys got knocked out, so it doesn't matter. And then I had the Packers playing Bengals in the Super Bowl and winning. That could still happen because both teams are still alive, but yeah. So my updated bracket, I have I still have the Rams winning. So Bills winning, Bengals winning, Chiefs winning, 49ers winning, Rams winning, Bucks winning. So for this matchup next week, I mean, I love the Titans. They're my hometown team. They're my third favorite team, but they're my hometown team. This is really tough. So Larry Ogunjobi, the Bengals defensive tackle, is out for the rest of the playoffs, and so Henry could just run all over him. But then again, the Bengals edge rushers are really good, and their secondary is pretty solid with Jesse Bates and Trey Hendricks on rushing. He had a career year this year. So we'll see what actually happens with Derrick Henry and see how healthy he actually is. It's so tough. This may piss off a lot of y'all, and I really, really hope this doesn't happen, but I think the Bengals will beat the Titans. It is so tough. I did not want this to happen. That's why I wanted either the Steelers to win or the Patriots or the Bengals. I do like the Bengals because of Joe Burrow, and a bunch of old Saints players on that team, or LSU. So I guess I was cheering for them over the Raiders, but this game is going to be I'm going to be standing up the whole time because I'm very, very nervous. I'd rather play the Chiefs if I were the Titans rather than the Bengals, in my personal opinion. So I have the Bengals beating the Titans. That would fucking suck, but we'll see. In the other matchup, I have a rematch from the AFC Championship last year, and I have the Bills actually knocking off the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs just they looked really bad at the start of the game against Pittsburgh, and the Bills just absolutely manhandled the Patriots, and I thought it was going to be kind of close. I actually picked the Patriots, even though I thought the Bills were going to win, but we're not going to talk about that. I mean, wow, that was amazing. And, man, they just destroyed them. And the Chiefs' secondary isn't super great, and the Bills' their pass defense is the first in the entire league. And so they're just going to shut down the Chiefs, and they're going to win, and they're going to make it to the AFC Championship. And it's going to be two teams that have never won a Super Bowl in the AFC Championship. And I really, really hope that doesn't happen because I want the Titans in. But if the Titans don't make it, this would be my second choice, no doubt. In the NFC, I have the Packers and Aaron Rodgers are 0-3 against the 49ers in the playoffs, and that streak will finally end. Rodgers is going to be, they passed on him in the draft, and they picked Alex Smith instead. Still wound up being a great quarterback, but nothing like Rodgers. And I think Rodgers in Lambeau, it's going to be freezing. It may be colder than it was in Buffalo, which is crazy. And I think the Packers and the 49ers have injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa are all hurt. And the Packers are well rested. And I feel like the Packers are just going to, hopefully, I do not like the 49ers, so hopefully the Packers win, and I think they will. On the other side, Bucks, they played a terrible Eagles team, and that shouldn't have been in the playoffs. They had one win over a over 500 team, and of course that was the Saints when they were super injured. Yeah, sorry, Nikki, I was cheering for the Eagles, but they were not good. And the Bucks, Bruce Arians is an idiot, and I don't wish injury upon anyone, but I wish Brady got rocked and just got the wind knocked out of him to scare Bruce Arians, because he kept him in the entire game, plus all his starters, which is just stupid because they were up by so much. And plus they're also really injured. Tristan Wirfs got hurt. Hunter, Jensen, their center got hurt too. Their running back, Fournette may be back next week, so we'll see, and he may be playing injured. But Keyshawn, shout out to Vandy, he played well. They're just kind of injury, and I think the Rams, hopefully they just absolutely crush the Cardinals, because I love Matthew Stafford. I don't like the Rams, but I love Matthew Stafford, and I'd love to see him finally win a playoff game, because he was stuck in Detroit for so long and didn't have any weapons besides Calvin Johnson. But I really hope Matthew Stafford can pull it off and win tonight and then beat the Bucs next week. He's just going to throw it up to Cooper Kupp, and he's going to make some plays. So my prediction, as of Monday, January 7th, before the Rams game, Rams play the Packers in the NFC Championship, and Bengals play the Bills in the AFC. And I'll have a picture of this while y'all are watching, or you could just listen to me talk. All like 25 of you. So in the AFC Championship, the reason I have the Bengals beating the Titans in the divisional round is because their passing game is so good, and the Titans' passing defense is atrocious. I think 28th in the league. So it's the opposite here. The Bengals' passing offense is great, but the Bills' passing defense is number one in the entire league. So I think they shut out Joe Burrow, and I think they shut out Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That would be amazing. I was talking to my friend Tyler Lobb the other day, who's a massive Bills fan, and I was like, they're either going to lose to the Patriots in the wild card, or they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, and that's what I think. And they won in the wild card, so I think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. They're gonna just shut down the Bengals passing game, and it's gonna be in Buffalo because they're the 3 seed, and it probably is gonna be really cold. And Mitch Morris, Buffalo center, would be playing against his former team. And I remember he was getting chippy in the Patriots game. But I don't know. I would love this matchup, no doubt. And I think the Bills would win, and they would head to the first Super Bowl since they lost 4 in a row against the Giants, Cowboys, and Redskins. And on the NFC side, this would also be a dream matchup. Rodgers versus Stafford. They played for so long in the division, and now they're playing. Stafford can finally... either Stafford can finally make a run and make it to the Super Bowl, or Rodgers can do the same and end his NFC Championship woes. But to be honest, I think the Packers go up on top after killing the 49ers. I think they're going to beat another NFC West team, and the Rams' run is going to end. I think it's going to be a very good game. Hopefully it's not like a running game, but hopefully it's just Rodgers to Adams, and then Stafford to Kupp, just over and over again. That would be awesome. It'd be kind of cool to see OBJ, even though I think he left Cleveland and should have gone to the Saints. It'd be cool to see him score a touchdown, since he literally has not gone to the playoffs since that whole boat incident 5 years ago. But I think that would be a great matchup. But Green Bay comes on top, and Rodgers makes his second Super Bowl. So for the Super Bowl, I predicted this exact same Super Bowl last year. Bills-Packers. It's going to be tough because, again, the Bills have the best pass defense in the league. But Aaron Rodgers, he's 1-0 in the Super Bowl, and I think he really wants it. And he may retire after this year, or may move on to whatever team. And it's kind of like Michael Jordan and The Last Dance, where they just try to get like one more ring. Rodgers is trying to get one more ring, and he's trying to get the rest of his team a ring. And I think he can do it. I think he can beat Buffalo. It would be, I mean, of course, the two coldest teams in the league that play outdoors are playing a Super Bowl in LA, which is kind of ironic, but I would love this matchup. I would probably cheer for the Bills, just because I kind of grew up a Bills fan because, my teams growing up were the Saints, the Browns, and they still are, Titans because they're their hometown team. And then I like the Bills because for some reason as a kid I thought it was fascinating that they were the only team to go to 4 straight Super Bowls. And I have a LaShawn McCoy Bills jersey in my closet along with an Aaron Rodgers jersey. So I don't know. Hopefully this happens. Hopefully the Titans make it to the Super Bowl and play the Packers. Or Titans-Rams, and then the Titans get their revenge. But if the Titans don't make it to the Super Bowl, this or Bills-Rams is what I would want. And I think Packers go out on top. Rodgers wins his second Super Bowl, and he either retires, which he was talking about that on the Pat McAfee show a couple weeks ago, and or moves on to another team, and you could see him possibly going to the Raiders and reconnecting with Adams. I don't know. There's a whole offseason. We just got to think of the playoffs right now. So I think Rodgers wins another one, and it's going to be exciting. Next up, I'm going to talk about NIL for maybe 2 minutes. NIL and college football, it's kind of crazy. The transfer portal, I personally love, but I heard on the Paul Feinbaum show today that someone, apparently the coaching staffs they don't mind players entering the transfer portal. Like, if they get a better opportunity, that's fine, but they have to recruit their own players, like, that are on their team that are saying, this team is offering me this much in NIL. I think I might take it. And if that happened in the NFL, that would mean it would be tampering, which would be loss of draft picks. And I think there should be rules for college football, like NIL and hopefully transfer portal. And hopefully they implement it in the next couple years, but we'll see. Right now, it's just kind of like chaos, which sometimes chaos is good, but like Utah State and Wyoming switched quarterbacks, and it's cool to see where everyone's going, but at the same time, like Caleb Williams leaving Oklahoma just to get a bag. I mean, good for him for getting the bag, but I think that's kind of stupid. But players like Billingsley, the tight end for Alabama, he just didn't have a great end of this year, and he just kind of wanted to get out, and he transferred to Texas where he could get a starting role. Like that, I'm fine with. But chasing the bag for NIL, even though you already are the starting quarterback and projected number 1 pick in 2 years, that is kind of stupid. But that's just my opinion. All right, finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about, and we're at 20 minutes, which is actually going kind of fast, but we'll see. My rankings of the head coaching jobs would be Vikings, Broncos, Dolphins, Raiders, Jags, Bears, Giants, Texans, and with the Vikings, I think it goes down to three people, maybe 4. I just wrote down a bunch of names for each team. I think Eric Bieniemy, Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn, and maybe Brian Flores. We could see that. this is kind of tough, but I think it goes down to Eric Bieniemy and Kellen Moore, and I think the Vikings go get Eric Bieniemy finally gets a head coaching job, and that's with the Vikings, because they need to see if Kirk Cousins can actually become elite, because he's a good quarterback. He's kind of like Derek Carr, like he's borderline elite, like him, Dak, and Kirk Cousins, Dak, and Derek Carr are all borderline elite, and they're veterans. So hopefully Eric Bieniemy can change that. And then Broncos, I think the favorite is Dan Quinn, and Eric Bieniemy would also be kind of nice just because they would steal a division rival's like really good coordinator. And Dan Quinn went to the Super Bowl, but I think the job goes to Nathaniel Hackett, the Packers offense coordinator. Packers again had the best record in the NFL, and 13-3 or 13-4 because there's an extra game, and depending on how well he plays next week, and if they get blown out and lose, then I don't know. But if they want to go to another NFC Championship or even the Super Bowl, I think Nathaniel Hackett's the guy for Broncos. Hopefully he could develop Drew Lock or draft another quarterback, or sign another quarterback, or even try and get Aaron Rodgers to come to Denver, because that was rumored last year. Next job, I think I said Dolphins. This one is probably the toughest one, personally. It goes down to 4 guys, mainly 3. Kellen Moore, offense coordinator for the Cowboys. Brian Daboll, Bills offense coordinator. Jim Caldwell, for the old Lions head coach. And then I threw Leslie Frazier in there, the Bills DC. I don't think it goes to Frazier because I think they want someone to help Tua. Brian Daboll coached, I think he coached Tua in college at Alabama. I think he coached Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts. And he's coaching Josh Allen right now. And I think that would be great for the Dolphins. Kellen Moore also. Kellen Moore is famous for being the only left-handed quarterback at the time in the NFL and being a left-handed beast at Boise State. And that would be kind of cool for him to get a job coaching a left-handed quarterback like Tua. I think it's down to Daboll and Kellen Moore, and honestly, I would have to flip a coin. I have no idea. I think Kellen Moore's play calling was pretty good last night. I did think the run at the end of the game was a good play call. Dak just ran too far. This is tough. Very, very tough. I could see them trying to steal Daboll from the Bills because they're a division rival. They shouldn't have fired Flores in the first place. But that's besides the point. It's very tough. If Mike McCarthy gets fired by the Cowboys, which it doesn't look like he is, Kellen Moore will take over that job. But if not, I think he'll go to the Dolphins. It's literally 50-50 for me. It's either Kellen Moore or Brian Daboll, if I was the GM. Very, very tough. And then Raiders, another coin flip. Rich Bisaccia, I can't pronounce his last name. Anyways, he's the interim coach for the Raiders and brought him to the playoffs after an insane season. So much happened, and they should make it 30 for 30 on it. Or Jim Harbaugh. I could see Mark Davis trying to make a splash and getting Jim Harbaugh, but I could also see them keep their interim head coach. They just fired Mike Mayock, rightfully so, because his drafting was pretty atrocious, like Cleveland Farrell and all this stuff. I mean, it's up in the air. It is literally 50. I can't even pick, honestly. Maybe Rich, just God, I don't know. Honestly, if it's Mark Davis that's picking, they're gonna hire Jim Harbaugh. But Rich is a good hire for the Bears. It's kind of tough. Another tough one. Like, we could see 2 college coaches going. Ryan Day coaching the Bears and Justin Fields. That would be interesting. And then Urban Meyer going to Ohio State. You could see Jim Harbaugh going to the Bears. He was a former player of them. So we could see him. But maybe Brian Dabble to help Justin Fields. But I think they'll go after, again, very, very tough, Doug Pederson for the Eagles. Old head coach. He took him to the Super Bowl. And I'm pretty sure he's offensive minded because he was an offensive coordinator at the Chiefs. And, I mean, he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and only Eli Manning and Nick Foles can really say that. This one is a really tough one again. And I think they go after Doug Pederson. Not the worst hire in the world, but we'll see. Jags, this one personally is easy. I think they go after Byron Leftwich, former player, former QB for the Jags, and he's the Bucs offensive coordinator. Bucs on fire, and playing even solid without the receivers. I really hope he gets this job. That would be pretty sick. He deserves it too. That'd be awesome if he got the Jags job. And hopefully, I don't like Trevor Lawrence, so I hope Trevor Lawrence is a bust. And I did say last year that I thought he was gonna be a bust, but hopefully he can turn around that culture and make a name for himself. Finally, the last 2, Giants. I think this is easy. I think they go after Brian Flores. He is. I can't believe he got fired. That was ridiculous. And former Dolphins head coach, and I think he goes to the Giants because the Giants need just an experienced head coach. So I wrote down Jim Caldwell and Doug Pederson for this job. And maybe Leslie Frazier too, because he used to be the Vikings head coach before Mike Zimmer. I think they go after Brian Flores and they trade for Deshaun Watson. That would be crazy, especially since the Giants have 2 top 10 draft picks. So I think they give up one of those this year, give another one up next year, and like a couple seconds, and maybe a third first round pick. Like, we'll see what happens. But that would be insane. I think the Texans lost leverage because they didn't trade him at the deadline, but and they've just waited too long, and he's been out of football for a year. But he better get traded. Finally, Texans, the favorite right now is Jared Mayo, the Patriots linebackers coach. But I could see Brian Flores going there and keeping, but Bob McNair is just such a bad owner. So I don't know. So they're either going to go after Jared Mayo, former Patriots, Nick Caserio's the GM, or Brian Flores, and that would mean keep Watson, which I don't think will happen. And then Josh McDaniels for the Patriots, which I personally think that's who they'll go after, because Josh McDaniels since getting the Broncos job, no one's everyone. He's always in contention. He's always a favorite to land a job, but he always backs out or something happens. So it's kind of weird, and I think teams might be scared to get him, but I think finally the Texans pulled the trigger and they get him. Nick Casario hires him, his close friend. I think they're close. I mean, they probably are. And Josh McDaniels goes in and tries and fix the Texans with David Mills, who actually is pretty solid quarterback, in my opinion. But, yeah, in conclusion, Broncos get Nathaniel Hackett, Raiders get Jim Harbaugh, Jags get Byron Leftwich, Vikings get Eric Bieniemy, Bears get Doug Pederson, Dolphins get Kellen Moore, Giants get Brian Flores and Deshaun Watson, and Texans get Josh McDaniels and a bunch of draft picks from the Giants. We could see some shakeups, like we could see a no-name guy like Joe Judge a couple years ago getting hired by a team, which is usually not fun because it usually doesn't work out, except Zach Taylor, which everyone thought was a bad hire, but I mean he somehow led the Bengals to the playoffs. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. We're at 31 minutes, pretty solid. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope my predictions are right for the playoffs and this. And hopefully we'll have someone on here soon. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all.